Hi, Lori here with Hardworking Mom. Just wanted to share with you a really cute wreath that I've been doing lately, and it is really super simple and it's very inexpensive. It uses burlap. I use the 4-inch burlap. You can use 6-inch, and then a wire wreath. So that's really the only two things you need. So I'm just gonna take the tape off here. Put that out of the way. Okay. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your wire wreath and you're gonna take your burlap and just go through the bottom like that, like one on one side and one on the other side. You see that? So I'm essentially pulling half from one side in the first loop and half from the other side in the second loop. So you're just going to pull all this through like this and then push it down really tight, because that's what's going to make the ruffles. You're going to do this all the way around the wreath like this. Just keep pulling and pushing. You see how it makes this cute little ruffle? Like that. So just keep going and push. Pull up. And push. You want to push it pretty tight, because what you don't want is for your wire to show from your wreath form. So it will use about 2 of these rolls. So just keep going. Try to make it even. So I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just pulling the ends. See from the back how it looks. It's super simple. You just push it forward, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this first layer, which I usually start with the inner layer. I just find that easier to do. So you want to just keep pushing back and try to keep them pretty even. Like this. Until you really can't hardly get any more in there. And then you'll go on to the next section. Just keep pulling and pushing, because you want it to be pretty tight so that it won't show that wire, and it'll form some really pretty ruffles. Like that. One more little pull ought to do it. There. You see how this section looks? Then when we come in and do this row back here, it's really going to push it together and you won't see any of that wreath form. I think I can get just a little bit more in here. And don't worry, you can come back and kind of fluff these out and make them more even later. Okay, I think that's pretty good. There we go. So when you go on to the next section, you just do the same thing. You just push it through, pull it through like that, so that it's just kind of in between that wire. push it back. Pull it up, that, and push it back. And that's it. I will do the rest of this layer, and then I will come back and show you how to start the next one. Okay, so I'm almost done with the first. I did want to show you, so I went through my first roll, and so I'm going to start the second roll. And I just wanted to show you, you don't really have to do anything. You don't have to cut anything. You just want to go ahead and start where you finished. Just keep going. It's going to blend in when you get to the end. Then I'll show you in just a minute how to get started on the second row. So see, you don't even have to cut. It will just blend right in. Which I think is great about this method. You don't really have to mess a whole lot with trying to use ties or chenille stems or pretty much anything. Because you're making it so tight, it will hold itself. So we've really gotten through the first layer. You see how nice that looks like ruffles? Okay, so when you get to this point, I try to get just one roll on the top, but most of the time I don't, just because I like it to be pretty ruffly. So I want to make sure I have lots of good ruffles on there. Okay, so I can't really get any more in. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go back and you're going to start on the second level. So you see here we've got these two. So now you're going to take it and you're going to push it back through the one of the layers that you just did. So you're going to be doing the second and third little loops. And you're not going to use as much of your burlap here because it is a lot tighter. Just be patient with it. It does take a little maneuvering to pull it through, but you want to do the exact same process. And when you get to these where you're going around a section, you can just kind of push those back up through so that your back is pretty even. And we'll do a lot of that at the end. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Pull them through. And you want to make sure that your outer layer, which is this one, has enough to cover this wire down here. So you want to make sure that you have at least half, if not more, down here. You just keep pulling and pushing just like you did on the top. Just like this. And at the end you can always come back and change it if you want it to be, you know, a little bit longer on this side. But you're going to do exactly the same thing we did on the top. It does take a little bit more pulling because you're dealing with that second layer, but it's worth it. Okay. And I'll keep going with this. And then I will be back in a minute to show you what the end looks like. Okay, so I'm back, and as you can see, I have gotten the entire wreath done. And you can look at the back here. I do have the little piece left from that last little bit I did. And what I like to do with this is I can either tuck it in, just kind of twist it around and tuck it in here somewhere. Like that. And then I'll come back and just kind of tie that down. I have some of these little bitty ties I like to use. I'll just kind of tie this down just to make sure it's not going to come loose later. So that just gives it a little more strength. See if I can get it in there. There we go. Okay. Now I'll just clip that off and tuck that underneath. As you know, you don't want anything sticking out that could possibly scratch a door, so just tuck that under real good. Now just make sure everything is good and tight. Look at that. Then you have a nice ruffle. See, and you can't see anywhere where that wire wreath is. So now that we've gotten this together, doesn't this look so cute? I love these things. I'm going to go ahead and just add a couple decorations. I'm going to make a really simple bow. Of course, you can make a really small bow or a really large bow, but today we're just going to make a really simple bow. I have some really cute bees, and then I found this yellow. I thought that looked really cute together. So I am just going to cut. Now I'm going to make my cut about 22 inches like that. And I'm going to do the same thing with the bees, just like that. And then I'm going to put that cute little cut in here, like that. Just fold them over like this, and then just cut the corner at an angle. Just gives it a little interest. Now I've already cut some others just for time purposes, so I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I'll take this ribbon and I'll fold it in half. Now you don't have to have the ends even. You can make one longer if you want, but for today I'm just going to make it the same. I'm going to pinch it in the middle like this and then put it back here in my finger. I'm going to do the same thing. Take this one, pinch it in the middle. I want to make sure my loops are pretty much the same size. Okay. Then I will do another bee like that. And then another yellow. Another bee. Another yellow. And I'm just kind of layering them in here. And I'll move them around once I get it together. Okay. Another bee. And one more yellow. Now you don't have to do this many. You can do it with just 6, or you can do it with 8. Put that in the middle. So once I get it together like this, I'll take a pipe cleaner and just wrap it around here in the back and just make it really tight, because we don't want that to show once we get it all fluffed up. Okay, so now you can start fluffing these, just kind of moving them around like this. See how it's going to look on here? It's really cute. But you just keep working with your bow until you get it the way you like it. And I like to take some of these here and put them in the back so that it doesn't look so fluffy at the bottom. So I'll push some of these up like this here towards the back. Like that. And I'll kind of spread these out. Okay, then you're going to take your pipe cleaner and you're going to find the spot on your wreath you want to go. Find the middle and just push it through just like that. I'm not going to tie it down yet because I want to keep working with my bow. But I wanted to get that at least in place so that I can work with the bow and get it to look like I want it to. Okay. And for time purposes, I'll continue to work on this bow later. But I wanted you to see what it looks like with a cute bow on it. And you can also put, I have this cute little bee that kind of matches my ribbon. And I'm just going to stick this up here. Same thing. You just want to find the center and just kind of stick it through right there. See, that looks so cute. The other thing you can do is you could add a letter. See, I have this cute little letter. Now, of course, this is a J because that's for my name. And you could just put it over here on the side like that. And I just think this looks so adorable. So I hope that you are able to make this and that it is easy. And if you have any trouble, let me know. And if you make any projects doing this, please post your pictures so that we can see what it looks like. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.